Almost every real estate agent has a CRM, and almost every real estate agent uses it in the same way. A place to store contact information. They rarely look at it. They import their contacts when they first get their license, and a few names when they meet someone in an open house, and maybe set a reminder to follow up with a hot lead. 3 months later, they're wondering why my database isn't working. The database isn't the problem. How it's built, how it's structured, and how it's used, that's the problem. After years of working with agents and having personally used and evaluated dozens of CRM platforms, I've seen a clear pattern. The agents who treat their CRM as the operating system of their business outproduce agents who treat it as a contact list by a wide margin. It's not even close. Today I'm walking you through the framework I use with agents to turn a CRM from a passive database into an active business engine. I call it the CRM Engine Framework. 4 steps: own, segment, personalize, rhythm. And I'm going to show you what this actually looks like inside a real CRM, not just a theory. This applies regardless of which CRM you're on. The principles are the same. Let's start with what the CRM looks like for most agents, because I want you to see the gap between what you probably have and what it should be. For most agents, it's a long list of names with phone numbers and maybe emails. No tags, no categories, no notes about the last conversation, no scheduled follows, no pipeline stages. It's a digital Rolodex, and a Rolodex doesn't generate business. It just stores information. Here's the trap. Agents believe they're using their CRM because they have one, but having a CRM and using a CRM are 2 entirely different things. The CRM you log into once a week to look up a phone number isn't a business tool, it's a phone book with a monthly fee. The shift happens when you stop thinking of your CRM as a place to store data and start thinking of it as a system that tells you what to do every day, who to call, when to follow, which leads are getting called, which relationships needs attention. That's a business engine, and that's what we're building today. Step 1 of the CRM engine, framework. Own your data. Before you invest hundreds of hours in building a database, you need to answer one question. Do I own it? This sounds obvious, but it's not. At some brokers, the contacts you enter into your company-provided CRM belong to the brokerage, not to you. If you leave, your database stays behind. Years of relationship, notes, follow-up history, and pipeline data, gone. Other brokerages kind of have gray areas. You might be able to export a CSV in names and emails, but you lose all the activity history, tags, automation, workflows, and pipeline stages you've built. That's not really owning your data. It's owning a list of names without the context that makes them valuable. At LYNQ, agents own their databases, the relationships you build, the notes you take, the systems you create, those are yours. The exception is company-provided paid leads, which is standard and transparent. But every contact you bring in on your own or generate through your own efforts belongs to you. If you're at a brokerage right now and you're not sure about your data policy, ask. It's one of the most important questions you can ask your broker, and the answer will tell you a lot about how the brokerage views your relationship. Your database is equity. If you don't own it, you're building someone else's asset. Step 2, segment for action, not just organization. Most agents who do tag their contacts use basic categories: buyer, sphere, past client. That's a start, but it's not enough to drive intelligent outreach. Effective segmentation is built around action. What are you going to do with this information? Tags should tell you how to communicate with each person, not just what category they fall into. Here's the segmentation structure I teach. It's 4 layers, and each one serves a different purpose. Layer 1, relationship type. This is who they are to you. Sphere, past client, referral partner, open house lead, online lead, community contact. Basic, but it's a foundation. Layer 2, timeline. Where are they in their journey? Just curious, casually exploring, actively looking, engaging in search, ready now within the next 30 to 60 days. Future, 6 months out, circling back. Layer 3, situation. What's their context? First-time home buyer, move-up seller, investor, relocating, downsizing, divorce, estate. Each situation requires different messaging, different sensitivity, and different expertise. Layer 4, engagement level. How connected are you? Hot, active conversation in the last 2 weeks, warm contact in the last 30 to 60 days, cold, 90 plus days of silence. New, just entered the database, no relationship yet. When your database is segmented across all 4 layers, every outreach you send can be relevant to a person receiving. A first-time homebuyer who just started looking gets a different message than a past client you closed 2 years ago. It's standard consumers expect in 2026. Let me show you what this looks like actually inside of a real CRM. All right, we're inside of our CRM right now, and as you can see, this is my dashboard for my CRM. This is where I can control everything. This is truly my operating system. I'm using a system called BoldTrail. You may be using something totally different, but most systems will have a lot of these baseline features that we're talking about. So we're talking about adding tags to our new leads as they come in. And we've got to start off by adding a new lead. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to add contact. This is how I do it in my system. So I go to add contact, and I'm going to put in some general information. So we're just going to say that this is good old Mickey Mouse, because I live down here in the very warm state of Florida. So it's that Mickey Mouse at gmail.com. I'm going to put in a phone number. Just making in a dummy number right now. My system asks me if I have permission to contact this lead. This can change brokerage to brokerage depending upon how you guys are using things, what your registration form was. I would always make sure you get clarity with your brokerage on your permissions on this side. At my brokerage, LYNQ Real Estate, when we add somebody in, we have that permission to be able to call them. So we're going to say yes to text, call, and email. My system asks for a street address. Here we're doing this from the perspective of a buyer, so I may not get their address up front. I could always add it later. Of course, if this is a seller, I'm making sure I get that address up front because I want to make sure that I can wow them with my CMA. Next, we're going to see lead information. So right off the start, lead type. Is this a buyer lead? Is this a seller lead, a renter, a vendor, or an agent? Pro tip here. I would make sure that I'm putting every vendor that I work with in my system, every agent that I've worked with in the past into my system. And you may be thinking to yourself, Steve, why am I going to put other agents in my system? And here's why. When you get that next great listing and you want to make sure you get it out to agents you know right away, you can go into your database, sort by all of your agent contacts, and make sure you send out the marketing material on your brand new listing so you can get it in front of agents' eyes quicker. Don't rely on waiting them to see it in the MLS or waiting to go in and use a reverse prospecting feature. Take control of your business because you're business owners, and make sure we get that done. Here, I'm going to call this a buyer lead. Next, we're going to see lead status. Inside of BoldTrail, we have a couple different ones. So we have sphere, we have prospect, new lead, active lead. Is it a client? Are they currently in contract status? Or have I closed them in the past? What we're going to do here is we're just going to assign this person as a brand new lead. Next, you're going to see lead source. This is where the lead came from. Most systems come with dozens of these things put on. You can see there's a pretty long list that I have. BoldTrail allows me to enter in my own lead sources as well. And you actually do want to track this. You may say, well, do I really need to do it? Yes, you do, because you're going to be able to track your return on investment for the actions you take. So your different funnels of business that you're working on, you want to know if they're working for you or not. So make sure you have that in the system. Here, just going to scroll back up to the top. My brokerage has a partnership with the New York Mets here in St. Lucie County, so I'm just going to call this a Mets lead, even though it's last year's. We're allowed to assign owners. This is helpful in a team situation. I'm the only person in my database here.
You're then going to see an option what's called a smart campaign or a smart drip campaign or a drip campaign or automated follow-up. They go under a whole bunch of different names. What are these things? They're automated follow-up systems so you don't forget. Remember, we can't track everything in our head. We do need a little assistance along the way. For purposes of this, I'm not going to show you a smart campaign right now, but we will do it in another session. Next, I can add in a lender if I have a preferred lender I work with, and I can also send a courtesy copy of this lead to that lender to help them get approved quicker. And then I have a notes section if I want to start writing some notes over here. And when I'm done and ready, I'm going to hit Add Contact. It's going to create that new contact. Now let's just move me up here so I'm out of the way for when this loads up in just a moment. So my new lead is up, and you're going to see in a proper database, you can track your calls. You can call through a lot of these systems. I can track text messages. I can text through this system. Emails that I sent out, I can email through this system. I can put in notes. I can add tasks, or I have additional controls as well. So we do have some premium features inside of our database here at LYNQ Real Estate. Additionally, you're going to see qualifications. So what is that lead's timeline? 1 to 3 months, 3 to 6, or even further out. Are they pre-approved? Yes, no, or they're buying with cash and we're going to make things a little bit easier. Do they have a home to sell? Yes, no, or undecided right now. And are they currently working with an agent? If they go on my database, generally they're already working with me, and hopefully in your database, they're working with you too. And then next you're going to see tags. BoldTrail calls them hashtags. I still look at that symbol and I see the pound sign when I look at it, but tags are great ways to segment your database. We talked about A tags, B tags, and C tags, being able to prioritize them. And like I said, you can go ahead and rename these in the future. We're just trying to simplify this right now. So I love good old Disney. I'm going to go ahead and hit Add Tag, and good old Mickey Mouse is going to come in here as an A contact. So I'm going to add Mickey Mouse in. See, my system lets me know it is updated. I can now sort by my A hashtags for my buyer leads. It allows me to sort and segment my database, allowing my time in it to be more efficient, more lucrative, and increase my ROI for everything that I'm putting into this system.
So that's what proper segmentation looks like in practice. Every contact has multiple layers of contacts. When you open a record, you should immediately know who they are, where they are in their journey, what their situation is, and when you last connected. That's the difference between a contact list and a system that tells you what to do. Step 3, personalize with AI. Stop sending canned campaigns. This is where most CRMs fail agents, and most agents don't realize it. Every major CRM ships with pre-built drip campaigns, 14-day buyer nurture, new lead follow-up sequence, post-closing check-in. They sound helpful. The problem is that every agent on the same CRM is sending the same templates, the exact same types of contacts. Your past client gets an email that reads like it was written by a marketing department because it was. It doesn't sound like you. It doesn't reference anything specific about their situation. It's a generic message with their first name mail merged in, and they can tell. Here's what I recommend instead. Use AI tools to write follow-up in your voice, tailored to each segment of your database. The workflow is straightforward. You take a segment, say past clients who closed in the last 12 months, and use an AI tool like ChatGPT or Gemini to draft a batch of follow-up messages in your communication style. You give it context, your tone, your relationship, what you want to accomplish with outreach. The AI generates drafts, you review, adjust, and load them into your CRM as a custom sequence. The result is that follow-up sounds like it came from you because it essentially did. You directed the tone, the content, and the intent. The AI just handled the writing at scale. Let me give you a real comparison. Here's what a pre-built CRM template looks like. Hi, first name, just checking in. Have you thought about more real estate goals this year? I'd love to help if you're ready. Let's take the next step. Let me know. Now, here's what AI-assisted personalized follow-up looks like for the same segment. Hey, Sarah, I was driving through Tradition last week and noticed 3 new listings hit that look a lot like the style you and Mike were drawn to when you were searching last spring. The market shifted a bit since then. Inventory is up about 12% in that zip code. If you two are still thinking about making a move, I'd love to put together an updated search. No pressure at all. Just wanted you to know I'm keeping an eye out. One of those gets deleted, the other gets a response. The difference isn't effort, it's systems. The second message took the same amount of time to produce when you use AI tools properly. You just directed the output instead of accepting a default. Step 4, build a weekly CRM with rhythm. A well-built CRM with good segmentation and personalized follow-up still doesn't work if you don't open it. The final piece is a weekly rhythm that makes your CRM the first thing you engage with every working day. Here's the weekly CRM rhythm I recommend. Monday, pipeline review. Open your CRM and review every contact with an active next step. Who needs a call this week? Who has follow-up due? Who's gone quiet that they shouldn't have? This takes 15 to 20 minutes and sets your entire week's priorities.
All right, we're talking about dashboards that help you track your activities in your CRM, and your CRM better be able to help you track your activities. So once again, I'm here in my BoldTrail CRM, and this is the first screen I see when I log in. So this is my dashboard page. You can see where we put Mickey Mouse in. I can see any of my contacts, what they are looking at inside of my system, when they were looking at it, what the price point was on those listings, and I can email, call, or text them right from this front page. So once again, a true agent operating system. But one of the things that I like when I log in, I'm going to see tasks right here. And my task dashboard is this little area up here where you see 25, or you see it smack down here in the middle. So I am generally a non-competing broker, so I'm working my database but helping my agents grow theirs at the same time. So I am a little behind right now, and I'll admit to that. So if I go ahead and hit tasks, you're going to see everything that I have to do. So I have to call these different people. Lead has never been called. It probably has been called. I may just not have marked it. I can go through step by step. Am I making a call? Am I snoozing it for another time? Maybe I forgot to make a note and I've just got to come back in and do it at the same time. But when we talk operating as an agent, we need to have our database here. We need to have these tasks. We need to make sure we're getting to people quicker. So look in your CRMs. Make sure you have these tools, because if you don't, you are missing a huge part of your business. And the purpose of a CRM is to help you along the way. And people ask me every day, Steve, what's the best CRM? Is it this one? Is it that one? Is it that one over there? What I tell them, the best CRM on the market is the one that you're actually going to use.
Daily task execution. Your CRM should surface today's tasks automatically. Calls to make, follow-ups to send, reminders that fire. If your CRM doesn't have a task dashboard, you're missing the most important feature. Work your task list before you do anything else each morning. Wednesday, new contact entry. Batch enter any new contacts from the week so far. Sign-ins, networking events, referrals, social media conversations. Tag them immediately across all 4 layers. Assign a follow-up cadence. Don't let names pile up on sticky notes or in your phone without making it into the system. Friday, segment review. Spend 10 minutes reviewing one segment of your database. This week, look at your cold contacts. Anyone you haven't talked to in 90 plus days, pick 5 and re-engage. Next week, review your past clients. Rotate through segments so your entire database gets attention over time. This rhythm takes less than 30 minutes per day, and once it's established. But those 30 minutes will generate more business than 3 hours of unfocused prospecting, because every action is targeted, tracked, and tied to a real relationship. Now, if you're evaluating CRM platforms, either because you don't have one or because your current one isn't serving you, let me give you the features that actually matter for a working real estate agent. Number 1, task management with a daily dashboard. You need to see today's action items the moment you log in. Number 2, custom tagging and segmentation. If you can't tag contacts across multiple dimensions, relationship type, timeline, situation, engagement, the CRM can't drive intelligent outreach. Number 3, automated follow-up sequences. You need the ability to custom drip campaigns, not just use pre-built ones. Number 4, pipeline visualization. A visual pipeline that shows contacts moving through stages: new lead, contacted, appointment set, under contract, closed. Gives you instant clarity on where your business stands. Number 5, activity tracking and notes. Every call, email, text, and meeting should be logged with notes. 6 months from now, you need to know what you discussed. Number 6, data portability. You should be able to export your full database with all tags, notes, activity history at any time. If the CRM makes it difficult to leave, that's a red flag. At LYNQ, we provide agents with a CRM that checks all of these boxes. But more importantly, we coach agents on how to actually use it. Providing a tool without training is like handing someone a set of blueprints without teaching them how to read them. The tool is only as good as the system behind it. And I want to be direct about something. The CRM is a tool. It's an important tool, but it's not the whole picture. What makes a CRM actually work for an agent is the environment around it. Does your broker help you build your database strategy? Does someone review your pipeline with you regularly? Are you getting coaching on follow-up conversations, not just your follow-up sequences? At LYNQ, the CRM Engine Framework is built into how we support agents. We don't just hand agents a login. We help them segment their database, build custom follow-up using AI tools, establish their weekly rhythm, and review their pipeline as part of regular coaching conversation. That's the difference between a brokerage that gives you a tool and a brokerage that gives you a system. So that's a CRM Engine Framework. Own, segment, personalize, rhythm. 4 steps that take your CRM from contact list collecting dust into a system that tells you what to do every day and actively generates business. Here's what I'd recommend. Pick the step you're weakest at. If you don't know your data ownership policy, get out today. If your contacts aren't tagged, start with the 4-layer segmentation structure. If you're still sending canned templates, try building one AI-assisted sequence this week. If you don't have a weekly rhythm, start with Monday pipeline reviews and daily task execution. 1 step at a time, the system compounds. If you want help implementing this in your business, I'm happy to do a growth strategy session and a 30-minute conversation where I'll look at how your CRM is currently set up and identify the highest impact improvements. There's a link in the description to book one. I've also wrote a detailed article version of everything I covered today, including the full segmentation framework and the weekly rhythm breakdown. That's linked in the description as well. If this was useful, a like or a subscribe helps the channel grow. And if you know an agent who's still using their CRM as a phone book, send them this video. I'll see you on the next one.